Hi, good afternoon. This is Benjamin.
Hi.
Hi. It shows that I'm the host. Am I supposed to be?
I don't think so.
I think it's just because you joined first. Maybe. Hi, I'm Zareen. Do you one other quick question? I can change you, I think, to be the host, or you can, Benjamin. Actually, you can make her the host. Do you want chat on for your participants?
Yeah, I could leave chat on for my participants. I am listed as the co-host, interestingly.
Ben, can you
Okay.
change her?
Yes. I changed that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, chat should be on now too.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Noreen from TypingClub. So we are an ed tech company. We are most well known for our flagship product, which is TypingClub. And I'm going to take you through the school edition of TypingClub today. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. So first of all, we have, sorry about that. We can look at this briefly. So please sign in if you haven't already. Okay, so TypingClub School Edition. So this is what the teacher dashboard looks like. So a teacher or an admin logging in would first see this, which is where they can see all of their different tabs for the program. And they can also see a live activity feed, which shows them live activity from their students who are currently working. The classes tab is where you can create and view and manage your classes. The students tab is where you can view your students. You can also filter your students, and admin would obviously have access to view more students than an instructor with a lower permissions level. Account analytics, we do have a number of different analytics tools, and you are able to filter and view a lot of sophisticated data. So districts will use the analytics tab oftentimes, and usually at a classroom level, it's more useful to look at these class reports, which I'll take you through a little bit. The class reports include the activity log, activity summary report, and others. We have the daily and weekly time reports, which you can see in our test account. There's not a lot of activity, but an active account would have a lot more showing here. You can set daily and weekly goals, and then you can see that your students are reaching or not reaching this. I also forgot to mention that I'm going to leave about 5 minutes at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and then I can review those at the end of the session with you guys. So we have the course progress graph here, which shows you, it's a good visual aid for getting through the courses. You can select which one. Typing Jungle is our most commonly used program or course. So for example, you can see this, each student is completing different lessons. Let's see. The activity, sorry about that. The activity log will show you what was in chronological order, which was most recently completed by students. And we have a number of different reports. I'm going to move a little more quickly because we do have a lot to get through. You can see class stats here. We have a lot of different stats available. So you can see active practice time. We have this punch card, which shows you the days that are most active. We have a practice calendar that shows you the specific amounts of time that students have been practicing. And our program only clocks time spent actively typing, so students can't just log in and leave it on and go do whatever they want. They have to actively be typing in order for that time to be clocked. So you can also see words per minute, WPM, for the class. There's also an individual student by student words per minute tracker. Again, there's that live activity view, but it is for the individual students. The analytics tab, like I mentioned earlier, you can filter it by classes, or you can filter it by students. So you can see very specific data for a certain date range. and how students are doing. We have accuracy versus real accuracy. So that means raw accuracy versus corrected accuracy. You know, if students go back, delete their mistakes, and then edit accordingly, then they will be credited for that. But if you want to see one versus the other, you can. You can also make certain course setting adjustments. So you can change the difficulty for the whole class. You can change it for individual students as needed. You can activate the placement test. And you can also set prerequisite courses. So if you want them to finish one course before they have access to another, you can do that. Okay, so this is more about the class setting. So if you want to lock a certain keyboard, a certain language or layout, prevent students from doing certain things, change the weekly practice goal, and so forth, you can definitely do that. So we do have a free edition and we have a paid edition. The paid edition is per student. The free edition is ad supported with age appropriate ads. So we do offer that. So let me see the accessibility settings. We do have a number of accessibility settings for students with different needs, or users with different needs. So for blind and low vision students, we have high contrast. We have certain kinds of fonts that are easier to view. We have several different levels of voiceover and block on error behavior, which makes it so that it's not quite so easy to get lost in the text that is being typed. For dyslexic students, we have a special font that's designed for them. Students who have only their right hand or left hand, we have both a specific course for those students and different settings to make their typing experience easier. And then for hard of hearing students, we have closed captioning. Okay, so this is the course library where you're able to view and assign different courses. You can also filter them by language. We have a number of different languages. We have a number of different subjects. So for typing, we have courses for students in grades K through 12. Typing Jungle is our main course. So for students grades 2nd through 12th grade, they primarily will use this 685 lessons. And there are also videos embedded throughout the course. I'll show you just a little bit.
Have you noticed how typing and sitting go hand in hand? Most of us spend a few minutes to a few hours each day in front of the computer. Some of us, well, quite a bit more. In fact, the average American spends 8.5 hours in front of the computer every day. Because we spend so much time sitting behind a computer, we need to keep our posture in mind. Posture is the way we hold our body when performing an activity. While activities like running or swimming might be the first to come to mind, sitting is also an activity. Bad posture when sitting can be harmful.
And I think that's enough of that. I apologize for not turning on live transcription earlier. Sorry about that. We are also having stormy weather where I am. So if you hear thunderstorms in the background, or if, knock on wood, the internet should cut out, that is why, but you know, knock on wood. Okay.
Have you noticed how typing and sitting go hand?
Sorry about that. Oopsie.
Have you noticed how typing?
Once again. 1 second. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here we go. So our intro lessons, here is an example of one of those. So students will be introduced to certain sets of keys on the keyboard. The very first would be F and J, of course. So they will get these introductory lessons where they learn finger placement, and then they will put that into action. That's just an example right there. We have these games embedded throughout the course. They actually work the same way as our other lessons in that they are still tracking accuracy and speed, but they look a little more fun maybe because they are games. So I will just show you an example. So if you don't type quickly enough, you may lose a life, and then you get a certain number of lives to complete the game. Oops. Oh, our hand anchoring lessons require students to hold down either the F or the J key to play through them, and that forces them to use the correct hand to type instead of hunting and pecking. So you see if they let go of the J key here and use a different hand, they will get this screen. And let's see, oops. Dynamic lessons. So the dynamic lessons work by targeting sets of keys that it sees that you're struggling with. So if, for example, you are struggling with the ENP combination AG and EX, it will generate text for you to type with those specific key combinations or letter combinations. And this updates throughout the course, depending on the individual student's activity. So there is also content throughout the course that is related to different or cross-curricular material. So students are learning as they're typing. So there's a lot of geography, history, science, and so on throughout the course. So DC Typing is a typing course that's actually focused on digital citizenship. It's recommended for students who have a little bit of typing practice already, or if they've completed Typing Jungle and they need more material to work on. And it's intended for grades 3 through 8. So it's just focusing on how to stay safe online, how to be a responsible digital citizen. And you can see some examples. You have vocabulary, advice about picking safe passwords and so on. Also videos embedded throughout.
Here is a curious thing about the web. If you can think of an idea, right or wrong, you can bet someone has already written about it. Try a quick Google search for proof that the Earth is flat, and you'll find thousands of sites offering proof. And yet, we all know it is not true. You see, newspapers and book publishers use experts and editors to.
There's a lot of different topics about, how to use your best judgment and critical thinking online.
Here is a curious.
Oh boy. All right. We also have games in DC Typing, as with all of our typing courses. So you saw an example earlier with the balloon game. This is a different game. They all function more or less the same way. You're just typing, trying to reach the word per minute goals to pass the lesson, but it sort of breaks it up for the students and makes it seem a little more fun. Oops. Okay, we also have our grade level typing courses, which are standards aligned grade-based courses for different levels. We currently have them for grades 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and with over 800 lessons per course. So while Typing Jungle is generally for students between 2nd grade through 12th grade, we have specific courses for grades 1 through 6, and we are working on more, currently working on the middle school courses. So we have the animated story lessons, which are very unique and a lot of fun. A lot of teachers will assign them sort of as a reward or maybe at the end of the semester for students. And it's sort of like a story that you bring to life by typing. So let me see. So here is an example. So there is actually music, but we don't have it in this video, just because I think that might be a little bit distracting. But as you're typing, the music plays and the illustration animates. And if you make mistakes or if you stop, it sort of freezes up on you. So you just have to type consistently without making mistakes in order for it to play fluidly. And it's a whole story. There are multiple chapters and students can complete it. Oops. We have our typing tests where you can create your own custom tests, or you can use our templates. And you can assign those independent of our courses to test your students' progress and to sort of just use it as a benchmark. So this was what it looks like when you're adding a test. You pick a name, you enter the text, and you can choose the settings for your students. You can also allow your students to receive a certificate upon completion of the test. We have templates, like I said, so if you don't want to supply your own text, you can use these. You can also view the results, and you can, and as you can see here, the certificates can be printed and then given to your students. So on the student side of things, this is what they would see when they log in. They would see courses or lesson plans that have been assigned to them. So this is what it looks like in a lesson. We have student settings that they can change. So they can choose a different font size, they can choose a different background. If you don't want them in here changing things, you can also lock that so they're not able to, but by default, they are able to change these things. Stats on the student side look like this. So they can view their practice time, their speed and their accuracy, practice attempts. And we have stats like you were seeing earlier in the class reports, like keyboard mastery, and you get a little explanation of what each of these means. Finger mastery. So it's pretty sophisticated per character. And this updates as the students progress, obviously. The practice calendar, so they can see when they were most recently active, and so forth. It's the same reports that you saw earlier, but it's for the individual students. Okay. And on the Pro Edition, you are able to watch playbacks. So even the students can watch playbacks of their own recent practices. So oftentimes they'll find that quite fun. They get badges as they work through the courses. So if they work on the weekend, they get the weekend hero. If they reach a certain typing speed, they get this badge. And if they surpass that at certain points, they will get a new badge. So if they type at 90 words per minute, I believe they'll get a badge. And then if they get to 150, like you see here, they'll get a badge. So then they also see the badges that they can strive for. So our support email is here, where you can always reach out to us and we can answer any questions that you have. And then there's also our help section, which you can find a lot of different helpful resources. You can see a tutorial that's even more in depth than what I took you through here. And you can just search for answers on any of your questions. And you can also, if you have a school account, you can find that in the support section over here. You click on there and then it will take you to the help center. And here is the feedback slide at the end. I moved through this a little faster than I thought I would, so I can definitely answer some questions now. And I apologize if I hurried a little bit. So the first question, how do you sign up for TypingClub? Is there a fee? Like I said, we have a free version and we have a paid version. So the free version is obviously free. It is ad supported with age appropriate ads. And then for the paid edition, you would just be purchasing for the total number of students you plan to have on the account. It is an annual subscription. And for multi-year subscriptions, there is a discount. So if you want to know more about that, you can reach out to us. Or on our site, we actually have an interactive calculator. It's all transparent, so you can just put in different numbers and see what the pricing looks like. The slides you can see here. Again, I apologize for enabling that transcription a little bit late. Sorry about that. Typing Jungle is a website. So all you need to, or it's on the website, all you need to use TypingClub is an internet connection. It's all web supported. So it is not an app, you can't download it, but as long as you have a web connection, an internet connection, you can use it. So for Jungle Junior, that is for grades K through 1. Typing Jungle is for older students. We also have, like I said, those grade level courses that are specific for each grade level. We have 1 through 6 at the moment, and we are working on later grade levels as well. SFUSD, the question is which version is purchased by SFUSD. If you have the paid edition of TypingClub for the typing courses, you have access to all of the typing courses. So it depends on what account you belong to, but if on your account you have access to the paid version of Typing Jungle, then you would have access to Jungle Junior or any of the other typing courses, DC typing, and so on. I believe the question, what the support email address is, I will just show that again up here, support@typingclub.com. So you can always email us or you can call us here at this number, and we will try to respond to you as soon as we can. Another question, can teachers manage their classes through the free version? Yes, they can. It is largely the same on the free edition. There are certain limitations on the data retention. It's only for 30 days. There is a limit on the number of classes you can add. And like I said, it is ad supported, but you can still manage your classes with the free version. So let me see, do you know if the first grade at SFUSD have access to TypingClub through their Clever accounts? So it depends on if you belong to a Pro Edition TypingClub account. In that case, you might have full Clever integration on that account. If that is the case, then students would be logging into their Clever dashboards. If it is a free account, or if it's an account that is not fully Clever integrated, then we do have an option called the Clever Library. So with that, teachers can individually import their Clever classes to their accounts. So Clever is a login option, whether you're on the free edition or the Pro edition. It just might look a little bit different. And if you're confused about that, you can always reach out to support at this email address. Yes, someone pointed out that it's no longer being paid for centrally. So if you are uncertain about the level or the version of the program that you have, you can always reach out to us, like I said. All right, do we have any other questions at this time? Oh, okay. Logged into TypingClub through my Clever account. Okay, yes, yeah. So if you do have a free edition account or an account that is not fully Clever integrated, you can always resync your classes with the Clever library. And in fact, since we have a little extra time, I can show you what the account looks like and what that process would look like. So I'm showing my account right here, my test account. So if you go to the classes and then you select Clever up here, we call this the Clever library. And so you can just sync your classes over, much like with Google Classroom. We have the same function for Google Classroom. Yeah, so then you can resync for the new school year. And let me see. I think I showed you the course library a little bit earlier. Oh, you can also make your own custom courses. So these would show up under My Courses. So you can create lessons with your own material to support what else you're teaching in class. And all of those different lesson types that you saw, you have access to. Okay, you can also, I'll show you the typing tests briefly that I mentioned earlier. So you can make those a little more complicated or a little more difficult for students if you'd like to, or a little easier. Oh, and I did touch on the animated story typing lessons, but now I can show you what that looks like with the music and so forth. Sorry, the chat's oops. Sorry, guys. Okay, do we have any other questions? Let me just exit out of here. So I'll just show those slides again at the ending. Yeah, so like I said, if you have any questions or if you want to learn more about Typing Club, you can always reach out to us. So for, sorry, one second. Yes, give me 1 second. Trying to share the slide deck with you guys. Pre-K can use Typing Club. We do have Jungle Junior, which teaches the alphabet at the same time as it's teaching them to associate their finger placement with the different keys on the keyboard. So that is an option to use Jungle Junior, which is included in the typing subscription if you have that, or we have the free edition, like I mentioned before. Okay, let me see. Yes, sorry, 1 second. If it the progress does transfer from year to year. So if you had your students in the course last year, oops. If you had the course if you had a class in Typing Club last year, you would have it this year as well. I apologize if I'm doing the wrong thing here, guys. Is this the right thing here? I think so. Let me know if that's not what I was supposed to be sharing with you guys. Anyway, I'm sorry. So yes, if you were using the program last year, your progress would still be saved. It's always saved until a teacher goes in and manually deletes it. We never manually delete anything. So your students can come back and pick up where they left off. And then let me just stop sharing. Do we have any other questions at this time? Let me just go ahead and download this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Apologies for that. Oh. So there is the slides, and then here we have the feedback. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. And thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.